improvement on the previous numbers after the sector was hit by the effects of the political impasse.
Although the political impasse in 2016 had a negative impact on tourist numbers in 2017, the 2018 tourist arrivals is estimated at 200,000, up from 163,000 in 2017. The 2018 winter tourist season is highly promising, as seen in the unprecedented increase in the number of flights from 27 to 58 a week.
In the area of youth development, Government Finance Minister added will inject new measures to improve youth employability.
In 2018 and beyond, the National Youth Service Scheme will accelerate piloted apprenticeship training programs to provide soft marketable skills for a sustainable livelihood for the youth.
The energy sector, which has seen its fair share of difficult moments, notably electricity generation, is expected to be given an added impetus through the creation of the electricity sector roadmap.
The National Renewable Energy Action Plan 2015 to 2030 is in line with targets of the ECOWAS renewable energy policy, and the Gambia intends to achieve 24 megawatts and 70 megawatts of installed renewable energy capacity by 2020 and 2030 respectively.
All these form part of a comprehensive drive to rebuild the economy and sustain the growth of the past year after a stuttering period for the economy. For GRTS News, this is Babakar Senghor. It was a major
of that budget speech would continue to air immediately after this newscast. For now, top immigration officials led by the Gambia Immigration Department boss Buba Samuel continued their nationwide tour of border and security posts across the country, with visits to several communities in the Lower River region. At a great moment of immigration and movement within the sub-region, the Immigration Department aims to greatly enhance its interface with the populace. Ibrahim Asani has the rest.
The immigration boss made this remark on day 5 of his nationwide tour. The entourage made site visits and meetings at Sankendi Police Post in Lower River Region, Kalaji, Sibanor, Mandinaba and Jiborokuta border post in the West Coast region. DG Sanyang warned the country's law enforcement agents against extortion of property from people irrespective of their nationality.
This government you are seeing is a transparent government, and they are trying to build the governance in a very perfect way. You have seen this just recently. Security sector reform. They went all over the country. It's not a joke. We have to reform. We have to change our attitude. And in changing, when you want to have good governance, 3 things: participation, accountability, and transparency. Then you will achieve what you want. Without it, no way.
The police commissioner of Lower River Region, Malamin Senkere, commended the combined security forces of his region in maintaining peace and security in the area. He advised all state security forces to respect their subordinates for efficient service delivery.
We believe that in service, without authority, we cannot have any headway. That without authority in service, there cannot be any cooperation. And without cooperation, definitely we are nowhere. And the third one is collaboration. We believe we cannot do it alone. Services are here and there, but we are all under one canopy, whose responsibility is to see that the internal security of this country is always positive.
The commissioners of refugees and operations, Ensa Jawara and Lamin Jata, both call on the refugee community in Sibanor to be law-abiding and desist from the country's political activities. The Alcalo of Sibanor, Musa Saho, commended the refugee community for their closer collaboration with his community in nurturing peace in the area. The president of the refugee community, Musa Kuli, appealed to public and private institutions to accept their refugee identity cards during transactions. The community of Jiboro Kuta appealed for electricity and more infrastructures to ease the functions of security forces within the border area. Ibrahim Nsane, GRTS News.
It is a major undertaking by government in the health sector, and officials are giving it more attention. The meeting for the validation of the impact evaluation midlife report to attain sustainable results in maternal and child nutrition is a strategic point in endeavors to fulfill a vital development goal and enhance the well-being of mothers and children. Another Sanyang has the rest.
Has led to the party.
United Nations this morning convened to evaluate the impact of the maternal and child nutrition and health resort project in the Gambia using the result-based financing approach. In 2014, the World Bank funded project was piloted in the North Bank and western regions of the country, targeting 3 health facilities in the above region.
We are working with more than 300 communities. It will create demand so that the communities will be responding to the services that are being available at the health services. So you can see the linkages between the health services and the communities is very important, because you can have very beautiful structures manned by qualified personnel with all the drugs and equipment present, but if the people aren't coming for the services, is equally not what they really want.
The Permanent Secretary, Office of the Vice President, Nancy Young, explained that government recognizes nutrition and health as important pillars of its national development endeavors.
In order to maximize the use of mobilized resources and to avoid duplication of efforts, the government has delineated specific roles and responsibilities to various sectors and established structures to ensure coordination. These sectors have to work together to ensure that the aims of the government are realized. It is in this vein that the Minister of Health and Social Welfare, in close collaboration with NANA, have joint efforts to mobilize resources and to implement the Maternal and Child Nutrition and Health Results project.
The Ministry of Health and Social Welfare is using the results-based project as one of the key health financing strategies, with focus on preventing and primary care for interventions to improve services and health outcomes, according to the Director of Health, Dr. Mamadi Cham.
By definition, you may wish to know that the RBF is a cash and or non-monetary transfer made to national or subnational government, manager, provider, payer or consumer of health services after predefined results have been attained and verified. Payment is conditional and measurable actions being undertaken. The key factors that propel the introduction of the RBF into the health strategic plan to enhance community nutrition and primary health care include renewed interest of the Ministry of Health to scale up the primary health care service delivery and accelerate the rollout of prioritized high-impact nutrition interventions.
The Impact Evaluation Midline Report is a major part of efforts to boost nutrition across Africa, with a strategic focus on maternal and child nutrition that factors the massive vulnerabilities faced by women and children. Reporting for GRTS News, I am Aminata A. Sanyang. And still on health, a new partnership between the Turkish Embassy and Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital has culminated in an intensive 5-day training on disease infection control for students of the UTG Medical School and junior doctors. Sena Bujain tells us more. The training course organized by the University of the Gambia and the Medical School of Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital saw 5 surgeons from Turkey delivering lectures to participants who include junior doctors in infection control and quality management. Professors and stakeholders from different departments were present at the closing of the training course, which doubly cements existing ties between Ankara and Banjul.
I know the participants here over this week, they have all been very much engaged and very much keen and very much really seeing what it is that is important in this area of infection control. I also know that there is a desire generally to ensure that there is some follow-up activities both at home here and in terms of training and capacity building that may be possible through this collaboration for the future.
The collaboration between the Ankara Yildirim Beyazit University and the University of the Gambia is being strengthened with a 5-day training, raising the infection control capacity of medical students and junior doctors. Professor Zelia Tufan reminded health practitioners that disease infection control is a key responsibility of the medical sector, which among other undertakings is expected to stay ahead of all health complications affecting society.
If you want to implement good hygiene practices, good infection control practices within your unit or within your hospital, it's very important to have the directors, the chief of the hospital support. Without it, you cannot be successful. With lots of stuff on it, you cannot be successful without support of the directors. So I believe here in Gambia, you have a very good team. They have been working a lot on the infection control. You have a very nice ID team here working hard, and you have the support from the directors. So we were here to make the capacity building possible. So we share our experiences with you. So I believe that in the future, you will go well.
Certificates were accordingly presented to participants who were later advised by the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital Infection Control Officer Ismail Gomez on the need to constantly implement the fundamental guidelines of disease control.
It was a training organized by the university, the hospital, and then the Turkish team from Turkey, from their teaching hospital in Ankara. It is a newborn collaboration, and it's this training. It was about infection control and quality management. So that was the essence of, and it started on Monday, and it's ended today, Friday the 15th. So basically, I think this collaboration, we cannot emphasize the importance. Because when we talk of infection prevention and control, that is to interrupt the disease transmission cycle. And if you are to do that, obviously quality will come on. If you are to at least save people, you have to have a clean environment and safe environment for people to come and get this service.
I am Zainabu Jain for GRTS News.
And that brings us to a break. When we return, we continue with sports. Do stay with us, don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
Carry your bank everywhere you go with the GT Bank Gambia mobile app. Take control of your account anytime, anywhere with ease and security. Do your banking the smart way with the GT Bank Gambia mobile app. Check your account balance, transfer funds, binary cash power and mobile credit, withdraw money from our ATM and POS, and pay your bills, request for a Verve card or Visa card, check your Forex rates, and do so much more in just a few steps. Download the GT Bank Gambia mobile app today from Google Play Store or Apple Store. Do your banking the smart way. Do your banking now with the GT Bank Gambia mobile app. Terms and conditions apply. GT Bank, wouldn't you rather bank with us?
Neex na ci tàmpal tey moo ji fari ñëwal aka sakal loolu ñëwal banquet ko moji ñet na ci banquet ñetti mburu moji fori bati tapala bati sen pour moji fori réew mi dindal yef ko pour ñu dafa neex lo to sa kan lool moji fori moji bu mu jëndé ba tay bono moji fori mom la ñu taamu sa kan lool moji fori akane jënd leen ko yeen ñu doon ut foriñ bu baax foriñ bu sakkan dama tay te Moustapha Diallo and Sons te 61 OAU Boulevard bi tay it nga teg sa téléphone call leen ci 4227 566 wala it 9244 331 kon wala it nga dem ci seen makkaan ba nekk picture waa kër Moustapha Diallo and Sons GT Carry your
Welcome back, and in sports we go to West Africa. Nigeria's Football Federation has been penalized for fielding an ineligible player during their 2018 World Cup qualifier against Algeria. FIFA's decision means Nigeria forfeit the 3 points from that game, but it doesn't affect the country's qualification for next year's tournament. CGTN's Keleka Emekalam explains.
A World Cup qualifiers match between Algeria and Nigeria on November the 10th, 2017. The sanction relates to the player Abdoulaye Shehu failing to serve the automatic 1-match suspension imposed on him for receiving a caution in 2 separate matches of the same competition. The match ended in a 1-1 draw, but Algeria will now earn maximum, even though Nigeria's appearance at the World Cup remains untouched. FIFA Disciplinary Committee also fined NFF $6,000 for the infraction. This sanction bears no impact on the final results of the preliminary competition for the FIFA World Cup, since Nigeria have already qualified and Algeria eliminated before the match took place. The FIFA Disciplinary Committee also fined the Timor-Leste FA $70,000 for fielding a total of 9 ineligible players based on nationality. They would also have to forfeit 7 matches in the preliminary competition for the 2018 FIFA World Cup. Nigeria is among 5 African countries that will represent the continent at the 2018 World Cup finals in Russia. Kelechi Amekalam, CGT in Abuja, Nigeria.
Well, from there we'll take another break. We'll return. The news continues right here.
Oh, to your load.
Push yourself to your limit.
How far can you go?
Think you can handle more?
QCell's new bundle just got a whole lot bigger. Now you can get QCell megabytes in 3, 5, 8, 10 and 13 gigabytes. Just dial *303# and choose your bundle package up to 13 gigabytes.
You can now buy bundles for another number on the same menu.
For more information, call customer care on 111. QCell.
Senior SIM.
Senior bundle.
Senior boss. We innovate. Orders follow.
Welcome back, and that's news from beyond our borders. South Africa's President Jacob Zuma is preparing to step down as head of the ruling ANC party. He has held the position for 2 terms since he was elected to it in December 2007. He took over as president of South Africa 2 years later after the president, Thabo Mbeki, resigned. Zuma will remain head of state until the next general election in 2019. Well, Sumitra Nido now takes a look at how South Africa's economy has fared during Zuma's presidency.
Took over as president in 2009, South Africa was in the midst of a power crisis. Businesses lost millions of dollars. Mining, manufacturing and other industries were ordered to cut back up to 20% of their regular electricity usage. A year later, South Africa too was rocked by the global financial crisis.
It was a difficult time to come in, but one must bear in mind that Barack Obama also came into the US economy at the time of the global financial crisis. It's a case of what they did with that situation.
The economy was growing at an average of 4.5% until it slipped into a recession in 2009, but it still maintained an A-grade credit rating.
South Africa had Soccer 2010, which meant a lot of positive tailwind. Also, the Mbeki administration had left a very healthy fiscal position.
Goodwill after the World Cup continued as South Africa was invited to join the BRIC nations. Brazil, Russia, India and China were tipped to become the most powerful grouping in the world. In 2011, South Africa emerged from a recession. It was a strong rebound with growth at 3.2%. The National Development Plan was launched to build on this momentum. But it was downhill from there.
Instead of positioning ourselves as an economy to, in a way, ride the wave of global turnaround in the economy, instead the administration focused on a very sophisticated looting spree. The South African economy literally went into a self-destructive process.
In 2015, China devalued its currency on the back of a commodities downturn. South Africa, still heavily dependent on mining, was hit again. But Zuma himself dealt the biggest blow to the economy when he fired Finance Minister Nhlanhla Nene. The rand plummeted, investor confidence slumped, and political uncertainty grew.
The cabinet reshuffle that we had at the end of 2015 and subsequently again twice in 2017 had done an awful lot of damage in the economy. We've had credit ratings downgrades. There has been and will continue to be less investment.
Earlier this year, South Africa slipped into recession, the second since democracy and the second during President Zuma's time in office. But the economy rebounded in the second quarter and is on track to grow 0.6% in 2017. Sumitra Nadu, CGTN, Johannesburg, South Africa.
Well, now viewers, here is a close encounter with an unsung hero of Somali capital of Mogadishu. The Amin Ambulance Service offers free emergency service to Mogadishu after the scene of deadly terror attacks. Well, CGTN's Abdul Aziz Bello tells us more on what they do.
They are the first to arrive when disaster strikes, offering emergency support to mostly blast victims in Mogadishu. Amin Ambulance is Somalia's sole free emergency ambulance provider in a city that too often comes under deadly bombings by the Al-Shabaab terrorist group. It boasts of a fleet of 10 ambulances at the moment and several paramedics stationed in different districts of the capital in case of an emergency.
We fund this whole initiative from our own pockets, sometimes a little contribution here and there. But there is no budget for this emergency service. The challenges are immense. The fleet drivers want to be paid, the paramedics want the same. The government is not yet in a position to address the emergency needs.
And on 14th October, this unsung hero was once again called to respond to Somalia's deadliest attack that killed more than 500 innocent men, women and children. Following that attack, a university student in Sweden and a London-based novelist originally from Somalia created an online crowdfunding page raising more than $32,000.
We came up with this idea based on the dangers and challenges faced by Amin Ambulance and their everyday struggle to save lives in Mogadishu. Because it assists people in need, we decided to raise funds to help them so that they can improve their services.
According to the emergency ambulance service, the cash will be used to purchase new ambulances and repairs to their existing fleet that have stood the test of time. Founded in 2008, this service has helped save thousands of lives despite its financial challenges. Abdu says this contribution is aimed at improving the crucial free services offered by these paramedics to the Somali population.
Ours is to encourage the commendable work they are doing in Mogadishu because saving one's life is the same as saving the entire humanity. It's therefore important for all of us, all both at home and abroad, to support this organization just as we did.
In case of an emergency, the public hotline number is 999, and after assessing the immediate needs, an ambulance and a paramedic are sent to the scene immediately. Meanwhile, bombings by militant group Al-Shabaab continues to claim more lives here in Mogadishu. The government and the private sector are yet to strengthen the country's national emergency response plan. So for now, the paramedics from Amin and this free ambulance service remain the only hope for the residents of Mogadishu. Abdul Aziz below CGTN, Mogadishu, Somalia.
Amazing heroes in a time of great distress. And with that, viewers, will come to the end of this newscast. But before we go, our headlines once more. A fallen hero remembered amid renewed condemnation of impunity. The media fraternity recalls the assassination of prominent journalist Leader Haidara, paying first tribute to a champion of truth. Restoring the fiscal order in a moment of change. Finance Minister Amadou Sane delivers his first budget speech under the new coalition government. And recognizing an unsung hero in Mogadishu, the Amin Ambulance Service offers free emergency service for numerous people often caught in the scene of deadly terror attacks. Plus, a closer look at the South African economy as President Zuma prepares to step down ahead of the ANC party. Well, that was all in this news edition. Thanks for the time, and do join us again. I am Tony Gita. Till then, do have a pleasant evening.
If you are sending or receiving money from abroad, you don't want to sit around for hours waiting. Delays can cause major headaches. Reliance Financial Service is the best partner for all money transfer needs in the Gambia. Get your money on time. Our money transfer process is fast, convenient, hassle-free, and without long queues. You can always pick up your transfers from Western Union, Rare, MoneyGram, Transfast, Wari, Small World, and many more. Send and receive money from the United Kingdom, United States, Scandinavia, Senegal, India, Dubai, and China without delays. Only with Reliance Financial Services. People of the Gambia, in a matter of minutes, you can send and receive money from any of our 50 locations from Banjul to Koipa. Yes! Our service is secure, fast, safe, and reliable, and it is at the lowest rates in the Gambia. Reliance, made in the Gambia by Gambians. Reliance, changing lives.
Opportunity.